Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is William Heinman, your host, and this is Just Force 911, where we look at how our public officials do their job or how they totally screw it up. Hey, guys, this is another one that I did earlier, and this is a follow up on it. I guess the D.O.J. is now involved in the uh, misuse of power. That Phoenix officers had against the black deaf gentleman, and it they had the officers under oath at the trial, and the officer said, "Well, if the guy would have said he was deaf or signaled," the officer jumps out of his truck and tackles or goes to tackle him. There was no time. These lying scumbag cops can say whatever they want to, but the video shows that once again, Phoenix, Arizona's PD is completely and totally out of control, and the DOJ needs to step in and take care of this department before somebody gets extremely hurt or loses their life, because this is ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to take a second to calm down. Guys, if you would, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the like and share button, and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know how I'm doing, and leave me a comment. Dave Biscobee was at the pretrial hearing, and the judge supposedly found enough evidence to send it to trial. I think this is a sham. I think this is a travesty. I think that this is another deal where Phoenix PD is trying to get skate out of another problem. And this stuff needs to stop, people. It just flat needs to stop. And if it takes the DOJ to come in and stop them, then that's what it's going to take, because these people are out of control. And, you can say what you want. That it's so hard for their, the job that they do. It's so dangerous, blah, 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 blah. It's not more dangerous. Being a firefighter is more dangerous than a cop, according to OSHA. Being what do you call it? An apprentice on a construction site is more dangerous than a police officer. And this is OSHA saying this. All right. And everybody wants to say, oh, they got such a hard job. It's so dangerous. No, it's not. They have body armor. They have guns. They have tasers. They have OC spray. And if they get their head out of their ass, they'd actually be able to deal with people and not have a problem. But they get these major egos because I got a badge, I got a gun, so therefore I'm God. And these morons just can't handle this pressure of being an officer. You got to remember, these morons are public servants, okay? They serve the public because we pay them. And they need to get their act together. And I don't know what it's going to take. I hope the DOJ comes in. I really do, because it needs to happen. These clowns are out of control. Simply, flat out of control. Check this video out, guys. You'll see what I'm talking about. Watch when the officer pulls up in the truck, comes out of his truck swinging. Okay, so saying that the guy had his hands up where he was going to fight. No, he was just blocking your punches, you clown. Anyway, you'll see. Here we go.
First at 6, the NAACP, ACLU, several disability rights organizations, and multiple state leaders are all demanding action because of an ABC 15 investigation.
We exposed the video showing 2 Phoenix police officers immediately going after a deaf man with cerebral palsy, then repeatedly punching and taking.
Now, did you see when he came out of the truck? He came out of the truck and assaulted the black gentleman almost directly. And this is ridiculous. There is absolutely no reason for this, except that they're a bunch of armed thugs that think that because they're sovereign citizens and they have qualified immunity. They can do whatever they want, and nobody's going to do anything to them.
Tasering that man tonight. Our investigation into this case continues.
You'll hear directly from the two main officers involved. But before we get to that, we again want to show body camera footage of this full incident. So consider this a warning. The video lasts about a minute. It is violent and it is difficult to watch.
Everybody stop where you're at. Have a seat. Taser, taser, taser. Get your hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back. Get your hands behind your back.
And I'm sorry, how are you supposed to put your hands behind your back when you have two armed thugs sitting on top of you? How is that even possible? These armed thugs should be in prison. It's just that simple.
Get your hands behind your back. Hold them. Move, move. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Ultra X-ray taser deploy more units. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Get more. Hand behind your back. More. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Hand behind your back. Now. Hand behind your back. Okay.
And that takes us to tonight's story. Phoenix says the arrest is now under internal investigation.
But that hasn't stopped those officers.
Yeah, internal investigation. They're investigating themselves again. How do you think that's going to come out? Please.
Officers from going to court and making sure that man was officially charged with assault and resisting arrest. Here's ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscobee.
We were in court for what's called a preliminary hearing. Basically, that's a hearing to decide if there's enough evidence for charges to go forward. And that means the two main officers had to take the stand under oath.
Since that day.
This is Officer Benjamin Harris, and this is Officer Kyle Sue. They're in court to testify against Tyrone McAlpin. He's deaf, he has cerebral palsy, and he's here for a judge to decide if there's probable cause for his arrest on August 19th, 2024.
Have a seat.
So why did officers go after Tyrone? It's because a Circle K called about this guy. His name is Derek, and while Derek was being removed, he pointed at Tyrone walking across the street and claimed Tyrone had assaulted him.
And you didn't confirm Derek's story with any of the witnesses inside?
No. Why don't you wait here first?
Derek's story would end up being false, but in that moment, the officers decided to take Derek's word at face value, leave him, and go after Tyrone.
We already established that when you pulled into the parking lot and yelled at Tyrone, he didn't respond to you, correct?
Correct.
Did you check to see if he had headphones in?
I didn't notice.
Okay. Did you check to see if there was a reason why he couldn't hear you?
No.
Did you try to wave him down?
No.
During your initial interaction with Tyrone, you wrote that Tyrone raised his hands. Can you describe what that looked like?
Yeah, he raised them in a manner that appeared to me he was going to use them to punch me.
So he raised his hands like this?
No.
Can you demonstrate again, please?
Yeah, he raised them in a manner that appeared to be ready to strike me. So what that communicated to me is I was about to get assaulted, not that someone was giving up.
Now, is it possible that Tyrone raised his hand to protect himself from your punches?
That's not what his body language communicated to me.
I'm asking you if it's possible. Are you saying it's not possible? Okay.
I don't know if it's possible. So just underneath my ring finger at that.
If you've noticed the cast on Officer Harris's hand, it's because he broke his finger arresting Tyrone. And at the end of his testimony, the prosecutor asked Officer Harris how all of this could have been avoided.
The defendant had just put his hands down or said, I can't hear, or I need to write, or something like that. What would you have done?
I would have had him sit down, made motions with my hands to have him sit down, and then I would have gotten a pen.
Now, when was he supposed to do that? When you jumped out of a truck when you first get there and you assault the guy? Where's he supposed to talk to you at? Or communicate that he can't hear? Nice try, thug.
You wouldn't have
Paper and pen out for him.
you wouldn't have punched him in the head and knocked him to the ground and tasered him?
No.
Now, let's get to the testimony from Officer Sue.
As I was going to pull in the park, I looked over and observed the defendant actively swing at Officer Harris, and then as I was putting my car in the park, and I jumped out and ran over there.
Sue's body camera fell off, but during the arrest,
And once again, little boys in blue tell little lies to cover each other's butt. Way to go, guys. You're going to get the DOJ in here, and it's going to be all your fault. Congratulations.
he testified that Tyrone bit his hand.
Can you hold up your hand high so we can see, show the judge exactly, point where it was that he bit you?
Right there.
Okay.
There's no body camera footage that shows the bite. And here's what happened when Tyrone's attorneys asked the officer to go through the video.
Anywhere in there?
Nope.
And stop at the moment when he says Tyrone bit him.
Right there.
The moment Officer Sue pinpointed is when the other officer's camera pans up and you can't see Tyrone. The defense asked Sue if it was possible that he cut or scraped his hand on Tyrone's mouth or the ground while choking him. But Officer Sue said no and denied using a chokehold.
Is that your arm there, directly around his throat?
The one on the bottom?
Yes.
That's my arm.
Okay. And that is around Tyrone's throat, correct?
Looks too hard to tell.
So how is this not a chokehold?
When I think of a chokehold, I think of two arms from the same person.
In a bizarre moment, the prosecution then got back up to prove Tyrone bit the officer, first showing pictures, then asking for a demonstration.
Okay, hang on a second, guys. You got your arm around the guy's throat and your partner's pulling on it. That's still a chokehold. And for these guys to sit up there on the stand under oath and lie is beyond approach.
Would you open up your mouth and stick your wrist in your mouth?
Say again?
Could you open your mouth and stick your wrist in your mouth? And then pull it out to the side? Did you just cut your arm?
Objection, Your Honor. This is extremely speculative and really doesn't.
Overruled. I just watched him do it. That's not speculation. Just demonstrating.
Officer, did you just cut your arm when you did that?
I did not.
At this time, I do believe the state has presented sufficient evidence to establish.
In the end, the judge found there was probable cause for the criminal case to move forward against Tyrone. The judge didn't give an explanation, but the ruling means Tyrone still faces felony charges of aggravated assault and resisting arrest.
Mr. McAlpin, this will conclude today's hearing. I'll have you stepped over to my bailiff just to sign for those release conditions, but good luck to you moving forward in your case.
Again, Phoenix is not commenting on the arrest because they say it's under investigation. But this case is a sensitive one. We've learned the DOJ.
See, once again, they're investigating themselves. Oh, gee, let me think how that's going to end up. Please, people, wake up, Phoenix.
Is now aware of the case. And it's important to remember that the arrest happened after the DOJ released its historic investigation into Phoenix PD, and the feds say they want to put the department under federal oversight. I'm investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
Dave's investigation will continue next week. We're going to have reaction from and demands from the NAACP, ACLU, and leading disability rights organizations.
If you would like to catch up on our coverage, we've got Dave's first report, body camera video, surveillance footage, police reports, and the courtroom testimony. It is all at the top of abc15.com/investigators.
All right, guys. Well, sorry I had to bring this back, but there was more information than we had on the first one. You know, I hope the DOJ comes in to Phoenix. I hope that they're turned over to federal oversight. It's the only thing that's going to fix Phoenix because evidently they're not smart enough to fix themselves. You know, they run through police chiefs like, I changed my underwear. You know, it's completely and totally ridiculous. And if it takes the DOJ to do it, hey, so be it. Guys, have a great and wonderful night. And remember, be safe, be kind, and have a nice day.